everybody and welcome to this video. Today is going to be another horror Blu Ray update, and this is the third one I've filmed in the same day, so my voice is struggling. So if my voice goes at any point, then just, forgive me. If you watched the last one, you will know that I still have a few to show off that I bought in the Arrow 2-for-1 sale at HMV. And then other than that, it's a really random mix of stuff that I've had lying about for some time that hasn't really fit into any other videos. So, we're going to crack on. So the first three, like I say, were bought in the Arrow 2-for-1 sale at HMV. And we're going to start with a classic. We're going to start with Carrie. Now this is a film that I watched once and didn't like it. And then I bought it and watched it again and really enjoyed it. So I don't really know where I stand on Carrie, to be honest. It's a really, really unpleasant film. I imagine you might have seen it if you're watching this, if you're a horror fan. If not, it's definitely worth a watch. It's an interesting film, it's a classic. And it was the first of Stephen King's movies to be made into a movie. It was 1976 when this came out. And you've got an interesting cast. You've got Piper Laurie as the terrifying mother. You've got Sissy Spacek in it. You've got John Travolta is in this movie in one of his early roles, before Saturday Night Fever and Grease and all that. It's just it's a horrible movie. A girl who has telekinetic powers and is quite a recluse is getting bullied, so she decides to use her powers for good. And for good, it means killing everyone. Interesting character. You don't really know whether to sympathise with her or not. You do on most occasions, but often she is quite brutal. So awesome artwork there. I believe this came out in like a box set. I might be dreaming that. I remember this came out fairly recently and it had a box set. But I was only able to pick up the standard Blu-ray, which it's fine to me. I just really want the movie. So yeah, really cool artwork there. All the special features and things are on the back. As I said in the last one, you tend to find with the more well-known films, you do get more special features, and this is limited edition content. So maybe this is the limited edition. I don't know. Open it up, and we have Pulp with Michael Caine in it as the little insert card, and then you've got the booklet, the obligatory booklet. And it's got lots of interesting information and pictures and things. See if we can get a good image. There we go, there's Carrie being a recluse. And there's Carrie at the prom. And fingers crossed, yeah, there she is, not knowing what's about to happen. And there she is after it's happened. So, and then there she is going home to mum after it's happened. It's not a perfect movie. There is quite a lot wrong with it. It has unnecessary comedy in it, which it works better than I remember, to be fair. But yeah, there's a lot that could have been done differently, but as it is, it's a pretty effective little movie. Original artwork obviously there, but I do prefer this because, I mean, she looks more sinister in that, I think. So yeah, happy to have that. To be honest, I picked it up just as something else to pick up, because I think I had an odd number of films in my hand and I was like, I might as well get something else because it's free, essentially. So yeah, picked up Carrie and I'm glad I did. And then we're going to go to one of my favourite Italian directors, Mario Bava. And kind of the film that put him on the horror map, really, was Black Sunday, which is a black and white witchcraft-based movie from I want to say 59, or it might be early 60s. It doesn't say on the bottom, that's a bit of a pain. Yeah, late 50s, early 60s. Starring Barbara Steele as the witch. It's got a separate title, this as well. It was The Mask of Satan, I think it was released as elsewhere. 2 different cuts. But I know it as Black Sunday, which is the American version, I believe. So yeah, cool cover, first off. Good movie, actually, as well. I'd only ever heard about it through the Mark Gatiss History of Horror series on TV, where he interviewed Barbara Steele about it. And even then it was only fleeting, but it's always a movie that stuck out to me, the opening scene where she has the mask put on her face. But yeah, it's really, really effective. So you've got the, that's the original Black Sunday poster on there, but if you take that off, you can see the original Italian poster there, which I believe translates as The Mask of Satan. And the little insert card is JD's Revenge, which is cool. So yeah, I was happy to get this because I don't really own many early Italian movies. It's all mainly giallos and stuff. So yeah, happy to have this one. And likewise with this one, which is the film he made after it, I believe. Following on from the theme of Black Sunday, we have Black Sabbath. And then I believe the film we did after this was Blood and Black Lace. So he certainly has a thing for black. Anthology movie, one of the first ones. The first one I am aware of is Dead of Night from the 40s, but this is kind of, there seems to be a big gap. They were big in the 70s and then they've faded out a little bit now. But yeah, this is one from the 60s, Italian one from the 60s, and it's strange. It's got 3 stories in it. It's presented by the legend Boris Karloff, as you can see up here, who features in one of the 3 stories. And it's a strange film in the sense of its history, because if you look at the special features, special edition contents rather, you realise what a different movie this is in the in England and the US as it was to in Italy, because in Italy the stories were in a different order. One of the stories was completely different to the one that the American and English audiences got, and it was slashed to pieces basically. There's 3 stories on here. There is The Drop of Water, there is The Ver de Lac, and there is The Telephone. And in the version, I watched the English dub because I'm lazy, but I will have to watch the Italian version at some point because it's got different music, it's got different sound effects, and like I say, the stories are in a different order. In the UK, in the English-speaking one, it goes The Drop of Water, The Telephone, and The Ver de Lac, the final one being the one that Boris Karloff is in. And in Italy, I believe the Drop of Water definitely came last, and I'm tempted to say that The Telephone was first, so The Ver de Lac was kind of in the middle. And I much prefer that because The Drop of Water is the best story on here by far, in my opinion. It's scary. Like, I wasn't ready for how freaky that thing is. It creeped me out. And then the other 2 that followed it, The Telephone was absolutely butchered in the English language version because it was originally, it featured a lesbian couple, which the US dub didn't want in, so they kind of removed all lesbian references, but in doing so they lost a lot of the story, so they turned it into a supernatural thing rather than they messed it up basically, much as that engine outside is messing up my video. So yeah, definitely the Italian cut for this one, I would think. And then the Ver de Lac, the final story, had some effective moments, but I didn't really enjoy it as much as the first 2. So yeah, The Drop of Water on here, if you're just looking for a short horror film, I think it's about 20-25 minutes. Effective, really, really good, really well done. Great use of sound effects and colour. Cool movie. Open it up quickly, and we get the original artwork in there. Nothing too special. No booklets or anything with that one. And then you just get the disc, which I believe is a 2K transfer. No, it's not. It's 1080p. My apologies. So yeah, Mario Bava done himself proud with that one again. Cool little movie. And thus concludes the films I got in the Arrow sale. And like I say, if you can guess the amount of money I spent, don't put it in the comments, because that will be embarrassing. And now, like I say, we're kind of just onto a bundle of random stuff that wouldn't fit into any other video. And we're going to start with 2 box sets. First of which I got very cheap from HMV. This was $19.99 for the Nightmare on Elm Street collection. 7 films for $19.99. This probably isn't going to be the best release these films ever get. I understand that. There's probably better ones out there. But, you know, as a starter, and as someone who's not a huge fan of this series, this is pretty comprehensive. Don't really need to explain these films to you. Freddy Krueger doing his thing. Open it up, you've got the similar thing there. In fact, I'm tempted to take the slipcase off, because I do like the glossy, not that you can see, the kind of glossy effect that this one has. And then you pull these out. So on here is the first film and a load of special features. Then you've got the second and third film, the fourth and fifth film, and the sixth and the seventh film, which is pretty nice. I don't know what the transfers are like on this or anything, because I haven't really watched any of them on here, to be fully honest with you. So I can't comment on the special features or anything, but, you know, as far as I'm concerned, this is a pretty nice little box set, especially for the price it was, $19.99. Considering HMV are usually pretty pricey. I mean, one of the Arrow Blu Rays you're expected to pay $14.99 for alone, so yeah, $19.99 for 7 films. Pretty impressive. And yeah, if you've got this box set, please do let me know what the transfers and everything are like, because if it does get a better release, I might not need it, frankly, because, you know, it's a pretty nice set there. And then we get a box set from Second Sight Films, who are quickly growing in my my list of favourite film producers, not producers, you know what I mean. Companies, that's the word. Yeah, they released this box set of a film that I really, really think deserves a proper box set release. In fact, I think they're working on Dawn of the Dead at the minute. And as far as I'm aware, it's going to be like the best release that Dawn of the Dead's ever got. So, yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that one. But this one is a slightly smaller set for the film When a Stranger Calls, the original from 1979, starring legend Carol Kane. Yeah, fantastic movie if you haven't seen it. A lot of people seem to say that, oh, it's good at the start and it's good at the end, but it dips in the middle. And that's kind of how I felt when I first watched it, but now I think it's pretty solid all the way through, because it kind of starts as a horror, turns into a thriller, and then goes back to horror at the end. But really atmospheric. The music in this film by someone called Dana, I'll find his name, but it's Dana something, did the music to this, and yeah, the music kind of makes this film. It's fantastic. And this was £18 off Amazon, and for £18 you get, obviously, this lovely box set, a big poster of this, which I currently have on my wall down there. Then we get a lovely booklet. It's kind of like the Last House on the Left booklet I showed off in the last video. Dana Kaproff did the music, and you've got lots of lovely pictures, lots of information in there to do with the movie, and it smells fresh. It's got that kind of, you know, that new book smell. It smells lovely. Open it up, I've got the original artwork on there. Lots of special features and everything on here. So you get When a Stranger Calls, the movie, on Blu Ray. You get the DVD. No, you don't. I thought you did. You do get the DVD of When a Stranger Calls Back, which is the sequel, but I think that's also on that disc. And then you get the CD soundtrack to it. And since this doesn't have a vinyl release yet, this is fantastic. So I'm really happy to have the CD. I was expecting a third disc, but it's not. The DVD of the second film is actually on the first disc as well. So yeah, for £18, you've got a lovely poster, a lovely box set, featuring a book and 2 movies and a CD. So that's pretty good value, I would say, from Second Sight there. And I'm very excited to see what they do with Dawn of the Dead. Because that's a very well-known film that has yet to get a proper release. I know it's had a release from Arrow, and it's had a release from, I think there was a German box set or something just under Zombie, which is pretty good, but this looks like it's going to be the ultimate of the ultimate box set. So I love that movie as well, so excited to see that. And this one is also from Second Sight, but it's not a box set. This is just a Blu-ray of a film, and it is the original The Amityville Horror. And this is a weird film. This is one that I didn't like as a kid, but now I do quite enjoy. And there's not many ghost stories that I would consider to be perfect. I'm not a massive fan of ghost stories. I think John Carpenter's The Fog is pretty much as close to a perfect ghost story as they can be. This comes pretty close second, I would say. Really quite well done. Effective, good, really good music actually from, what's his name? I'll find his name on here somewhere. Lalo Schifrin. If you haven't heard the opening theme to this movie, then yeah, turn the lights out and listen to it, and sleep after that. So yeah, everyone knows the story of the Amityville Horror. It had a remake starring Ryan Reynolds where he just got his shirt off a lot. But yeah, this is the original, and a better version in my opinion. Open it up there, and pretty basic package really. We just get the disc. Haven't watched this copy yet, so I can't comment on the transfer. So if you own it, please let me know what it's like. But yeah, otherwise I'm just happy to own the Amityville Horror. It's an upgrade from my DVD. Oh yes, I forgot I had this one actually. Every Christmas Eve, me and my dad have a little tradition where we sit down, we order a takeaway, and we watch the original Black Christmas, starring Olivia Hussey and what's his name, John Saxon, Keir Delay, Margot Kidder, directed by Bob Clark, who also did Deranged and Death Dream, and he had something to do with Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Went on to do Porky's, I think, or A Christmas Story, or one of the two. But yeah, in the 70s he was making stuff like this. And this is a really, really fantastic slasher movie. A lot of people, I don't want to spoil it, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a trope that this film uses, or a cliche, should I say, that this film uses, that everyone thinks originated from When a Stranger Calls. In fact, this film used it 4 years earlier. 5 years earlier, in fact. It's kind of one of those urban legends. But yeah, this is the origin of that little urban legend, as far as I'm aware. Great cast in it, fantastic acting, great story, really atmospheric. Not a bad thing to say about this movie. If you haven't seen it, get yourself a copy. And if you have seen the remake, you know, get some domestos, wash your eyes out, and then, you know, cure it with this. And apparently there is a remake of the remake coming out, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Open this up, and you've got the 2 discs there. I believe one is a CD, one's a DVD, one is a Blu Ray. And then you've got some different artwork in here, which is the original artwork, which I've just realised is loads better than that. So yeah, I'm going to be changing that over as soon as possible. That's Black Christmas. Like I say, fantastic movie if you haven't already seen it. And if you have already seen it, then get yourself a copy of it. I can't figure out how these discs go in. I'm going to cut for a second. I did it. I switched it around as well. Also worth noting that this came with a poster as well. This came with the poster of the green bauble with the silhouette on it, which is on my wall down there. That wall, I should figure out a way to film against that wall, because it's like just posters of posters and posters of horror films. So maybe I should. Maybe I'll do music this side and then horror that side. I'll see. But yeah, that is Black Christmas. I digress. And this movie is, honest to God, I've had this movie for about a year and just have not had the chance to show it off in videos, because I like to stick to 10 films per video. And, you know, sometimes I want to show stuff off together, like if it's a special, like the Jarlo special or the Arrow special, or if there's, like, sequels and stuff, I want to show them together, and it has to stay within 10. And all the time, this film gets left out, and I've had it literally sat on the shelf for a year. And it's finally getting its moment. And it's not even that good a film. It's Night Train Murders from 1975. This is from 88 Films. This is the first, actually, in their Italian collection. As you can see, it says #1 down there. Yeah, this was one of my video nasties, also known as Late Night Trains, also known as The Other Last House on the Left, or something like that. What's it called? Oh, that's the other title on there is Don't Ride on Late Night Trains, but I'm sure it was called it's something Last Housey, but it's basically a remake of Last House on the Left, but on a train. These 2 girls who are, I believe, going home to visit their parents, get ambushed on a train by these sick motherfuckers who, yeah, do nasty things to them, kill them, then end up at the parents' house, and the parents aren't best pleased, and yeah, they do what any parent would do. So yeah, interesting movie, not as good as Last House on the Left. Still, it's more than watchable. It's a cool little movie, even though that poster is interesting. It doesn't really have anything to do with it. There aren't demonic monks in it. Open it up quickly. You've got the disc there. All the Italian ones come on green discs, and the other cover there is Don't Ride on Late Night Trains, which again has that poster has nothing to do with the film. But yeah, I prefer that one, just mainly because I know the title is as Night Train Murders. And it also features a soundtrack by Ennio Morricone, if I remember rightly. And it's not a particularly good Ennio Morricone soundtrack. As far as I remember, it's just a harmonica going every now and again. That was my impression of a harmonica. Please feel free to book me for children's parties. Yeah, so interesting release there of a film that, you know, it's obscure, it's Italian, it's cool, it's right up my alley. And it finally gets its moment. I'm going to hold it right there so you can see it. Night Train Murders. Been shown off now. And the last 2 are from Arrow Video. Have we had any Arrow in this? I don't think we... Oh yeah, we have at the start. Yeah, the last 2 were just bought kind of on a limb, really. And I'm going to start with this one. This is a Sergio Martino Giallo film. And frankly, the only thing that drew me to this, because I did not know about it before I saw it, is the cover. Because that has to be one of the best covers that Arrow have ever done. It's so bright, it's eye-catching, it's psychedelic. I mean, my favourite colour's orange anyway. You've got a bright purple scorpion up here. And this is the case of the scorpion's tail. And I want to say that this is the 3rd Giallo he did. I'm not sure. I've got a feeling it goes All the Colours of the Dark, Strange Advice of Mrs. Ward, this, Your Vice is a Locked Room, and Torso. I want to say it goes in that order, but I'm not entirely sure why. I'm pretty sure this is in the middle, though. Watched it a while ago, a couple of months ago. To be quite frank, I can't remember much about it, but I do remember enjoying it. I remember there was a creepy moment in a theatre, which was quite effective. And I remember the story actually being pretty good as well. It had some decent twists in it. And it's a Giallo. You know, it's exactly what you'd expect from a Giallo. It's typical Sergio Martino. It's got a lawnmower going in the background. Everyone's determined to ruin my video today. But yeah, really cool release there. And as you can see on the back, tons and tons of special features. Open it up, and you get a nice little book. Stormy Monday. Yeah, you get a nice little book with it. Again, more cool artwork on the back. That's why did I have to open up to that? It's someone who's had a glass bottle shoved into their eye. It's got something to do with is it a scorpion pendant or a scorpion brooch or a scorpion ring or something. I vaguely remember a girl's husband dies in a plane crash, and there's something to do with diamonds or inheritance money or something like that. But yeah, I will have to watch it again. It was one of those that kind of went over my head a little bit because there's naked women. There's a lot of characters in it. There's a lot of convoluted stuff going on, so it does require more than one viewing. This book is huge. I forgot how big this was. But yeah, really interesting. I do remember enjoying it quite a lot, so please feel free to take that as a recommendation. And on the other side there, you've got the Italian poster there, La Coda della Scorpione. Hey, I got the Italian title right. Yeah, Case of the Scorpion's Tail there, Sergio Martino doing his Giallo thing, and working out pretty well, I would say. So yeah, also stars George Hilton and Anita Strindberg? George Hilton. Oh wait, come on, I can do this. George Hilton, Anita Strindberg, yes, who I believe were two kind of pretty prolific actors of the Giallo genre in the 70s in Italy. So yeah, you've got some names in this. Interesting little movie. And then we are going to end... I was going to say end on a low note, but I don't want to say that yet. I'm going to end on a low note in as much as I haven't seen this movie, so I can't comment on it at all. But please feel free to give me spoiler-free opinions in the comments. My dad actually picked this up for me. This is Scalpel. And it sounds very similar to Eyes Without a Face, that kind of infamous 50s movie where his daughter, her face is disfigured or something and he's trying to find the perfect face for her. It sounds pretty similar to that. It's got Robert Lansing in it, who was in quite a few famous things. The Twilight Zone, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Deranged Surgeon. And it's also from the director of Blood Rage, that weird 80s slasher that I did not know. This kind of comes across as more of an artsy-fartsy kind of movie than that, so that does surprise me. Instant implicated, sizable inheritance, young woman whose face has been disfigured, unhinged physician sees an opportunity to put his trusty scalpel to use, hatching a demented plan to get his hands on his daughter's money. Yeah, sounds a bit like Eyes Without a Face, maybe a bit more confusing. Haven't seen it, like I said, don't know anything about it, just really like that cover, knew it existed because of Arrow. But I'll let you know what I think when I've seen it. So you open it up, you've got the Slayer as the little insert card, and you've got a lovely little booklet again. Quick flick through there, see if I can gather if anything's going on in particular. There's Watchman, or whatever he's called. Yeah, a lot of writing in here, a lot of information, that's nice to see. And then you've got the disc, obviously, and the original artwork is just behind there, which is pretty cool. That kind of reminds me of The Eyes of Laura Mars, that poster. I don't know if it's that weird shade of grey. But yeah, really excited to watch this actually, because it does sound interesting. And was quite surprised to learn that it was directed by a Blood Rage guy, because that is a really, really cheesy slasher film, and this does not come across like that at all. So I'll have to wait and see. But that is the final movie in this video, and my voice is knackered because I've been talking for about an hour and 20 minutes putting these three videos together. That's the last one to do. So, again, pretty interesting stack there, probably the most interesting because it's the most varied. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you like any of these movies, let me know what you think, and I will see you again very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.